Court will come to order. It is Monday, April the 27th, 2026. It is 9 o'clock in the morning, and the Kerr County Commissioners Court is now in session. If you would, please rise for the prayer and the pledge, which I will lead. Pray with me. Good and gracious God, we invite you to be in our presence to help us make wise and compassionate decisions for your people. We ask that you continue to send the rain. We're very grateful for what you have sent. We ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated.
Texas flag.
Oh, well, Texas flag, sorry.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Now be seated. And I apologize for my eagerness to sit. I had knee surgery. It's very uncomfortable to stand, so.
That's why.
First thing we do in the Commissioners Court meeting is to turn off the phones and to turn them to vibrate so they do not interrupt the proceedings. So I'd ask everybody to do that. The next thing we do is this is our opportunity for public input. This is in accordance with our rules of procedure, conduct, and decorum for the Kerr County Commissioners Court. This is an opportunity for the public to tell us your input to us that you want us to know. It is not our opportunity for output back, but it is an opportunity for input. We ask that you fill out the public participation form and provide it with the county clerk if you want to speak. If there's an item that is on the agenda that you want to speak about, we ask that you wait until that agenda item is called. That way it'll be more relevant. We ask that you identify yourself from the podium, limit your remarks to 3 minutes. And with that, this is an invitation. Is there anybody that wishes to make public comment to the court?
Bless you.
Very well. Then with that, we'll move on to Commissioners' comments. Precinct 1.
Oh, it's been a busy couple of weeks. Recovery's in full swing. I will tell you that all the different groups that are meeting from over at 98 Coronado are very, very busy and active. We're seeing a plan come together. We're starting to get funding in different areas that we've been waiting for, anticipating. The riparian recovery has got a great plan underway. The sirens have been delivered. They're down at our youth exhibition center. If you go into the dirt barn floor, you will see them. They're huge. We've got 8 of those that'll be going on the North and South Forks. We should have some of those in place by the time we get ready for camps to initiate. So looking forward to it. We're finally seeing it come together. This is a unfunded mandate that the state's helping to some degree. UGRA is helping a lot. I can't express enough how much UGRA has meant to what we're doing here in the county right now. So appreciate all the effort from everybody and all the volunteers, several hundred volunteers throughout the county that are helping pull this plan together. That's it.
Precinct 2.
Well, the burn ban remains lifted for Precinct 2, and I'm very pleased that our county judge has lifted it even in the floodway. So anybody who's been waiting a long time to burn in the floodway where that was banned, they're now free to do so.
Vegetated debris.
Okay, correct. That's kind of the way it always is, though.
Well, I just want to make sure people understand you're not burning trash out there.
Well, okay. Anyhow, and speaking of the sirens, we were asked to submit recommendations on location for sirens, and I dutifully did so and gave 4 specific locations. One's kind of on the border between Precinct 3 and 4. Well, that would have been the 5th one. But, of course, then I'm advised that we're only going to have 8 initially, and all of those are in West Kerr. Fair enough, but at least now we've got a pretty good idea where we might need them if and when we get additional funding from
We will be doing
the
more.
Water Development Board. So we sure need more.
Yeah.
And at least, I believe we have other locations identified where they'd come in real handy. In our last court meeting, I mentioned that LCRA sent a notice of their plan to install a 320-foot microwave tower at 110 Liggett Lane. And that's over off Medina Highway, Highway 16, kind of on the backside of River Hill. They were asking if we were aware of any historic properties in the area that might be affected by their project, and I circulated a request. I heard back from Engineering and Road and Bridge that they were unaware of anything. I also heard from the Kerr County Historic Commission that they're also unaware of any historic property or significance in that area. So there's no reason for us to be able to stop it, so I assume they'll go ahead with it. Working with the Gary Sinise Foundation, who want to hold an event to recognize all of our first responders and their families. Looks like that we're tuning in on August 1st at River Star Park, and we'll be getting more details out to the folks that it's intended to cover. I did attend a fundraiser on Saturday in honor of Arturo Ramon. This is a gentleman that came shortly after the flood with $300 in his pocket and a hefty little barbecue grill, and you know, he stuck around for 60 days and fed over 30,000 people, both in Center Point at the VFD and out in Hunt. And I can tell you, at the time, I was certainly appreciating all the food that he prepared, because his food was the best. But tragically, he passed unexpectedly, so we had a fundraiser for the family this weekend, and it was very successful. So a big shout out to everybody who attended and supported that event, and also, of course, to the organizers. Some really good food, and there were some great auction items. And otherwise, I'm planning to attend the Rebuild Kerr Grantee Gathering tomorrow at the Arcadia Theater, and we'll see what that's all about. That event is from 9 to 3 p.m. That's all I got.
3.
Had a good meeting with the Texas Cyber Command. As you know, it's a new organization led by Admiral T.J. White, who came to our courthouse with one of his folks and met with us, and also IT, Corey Tennis, to understand what capabilities they have, introduce them to the concerns we have over battery energy storage, but also how we are doing as a county with protecting one of our most important assets, which is our cybersecurity. So very interested, and we're going to remain connected with them. Yes, there are 254 counties, but it's nice to have their attention when you're one of those 254. I think that'll be helpful and fruitful in the relationship, and we have some follow-up to do for that. For VSO, it is still open. Our VSO director had a family issue. She'll be out within a few days after that's resolved, unfortunate. Comfort ISD has a school board. The reason I need to talk about it is because half the students are in Precinct 3, and it actually almost matches up completely with Precinct 3 for taxation. And if you want to vote for that bond, and there is more on the bond website. I don't want to go into detail on that right now, but you can take a look at that. There was voting on the 25th, Saturday from 10 to 4. There's voting today from 10 to 6. There's also voting tomorrow from 10 to 6 for Kerr County residents. That's at Comfort ISD's training center at 232 High Street. That's the old middle school, if anyone went there. But it's important to vote on that and understand what you're voting for a $42 million bond proposal. 4 inches of rain was recorded in our area last week. It was a lot. And it came down how you like it, spread over time. We had 1 inch over last few days, and the burn ban remains lifted. I went to the Arturo benefit as well after you and cleaned up, and Wes Riddell was there too. Sorry to miss him, but again, I echo what he said. Just what a wonderful human being. Glad to be able to help out with that. I am tracking testimony. I've had a few folks reach out about testimony about the camps. Right now, that's civil. They wanted us to make sure we track and understand. For those folks that have been sending the emails and calls, yes, we are tracking testimony. And I'm not going to attend in person, but I think it's good that we should watch it online. TCEQ meeting. Let's see if the faces changed when I say this. I'm on the advisory committee for TCEQ for Cypress Creek, and we do have a meeting in July. I go to that once or twice a year, and that'll be on July 15th. Did receive a nice letter from one of our constituents. So if you do have any concerns about water and other things, I'm always open. There's one rep for the city, and I'm kind of the one for the county that goes to an annual TCEQ meeting and votes on a few issues. 5 sirens is what we looked at and recommended in our locations. Just to let you know, my methodology is on our county property, kind of near the river, so easements are easy, not in the waterway as much as we can, near important crossing sites like bridges or RV parks, or major places where we have communities that are right on creeks that can backflow. So that's the 5 that we submitted on for proposal. Trees and seeds are available, but in the fall. Received a lot of calls from people that missed out already, but you have to wait for dormant season for tree planting, and they're growing more, and so that will get there, but those that called, you're gonna have to wait again for a while. That missed the initial distributions that I thought were pretty well publicized. And then lastly, I am turning over the Marine Corps JROTC program to somebody else in Comfort. I need to commit more time to this. I don't like doing virtual meetings. So I did make that decision, which was hard, but I did promise to start it. We did do very well to start it. Program's in full effect, so I have more time for these in-person meetings, which are part of this job. That's it. Thank you.
Okay.
All right. Well, the rains were a blessing. As big as Precinct 4 is, I think everybody got over 3 inches, and which made us decide to pull the Band-Aid off on burning along the river corridor. I know Judge and I spent a good part of Thursday afternoon talking to all the concerned individuals to make this final decision. Him and I back and forth, as well as with Tatum and Task Force 1 and different ones, and constituents. So it's finally good to get that done. Right now, the Ingram City elections are going on. Get out and vote if you can. There's only about 900 and some odd people that are registered to vote in the Ingram City elections. So it's important. If you need, make your voice heard in that one, because a lot of times it's a low turnout, so every vote counts. There's a big event coming up, and it's after our next Commissioners Court, but I'm going to plant this seed now for everybody. Out at Kreider's, May 17th, they're having a benefit concert, Gary P. Nunn, and it's for the Trees Initiative. So, Kreider's has done a lot of work out there. You're going to be impressed to see the changes that they've made and rebuilding out there. So it'll be a good community event. I highly encourage y'all, and I'll bring it up in the next Commissioners Court, but I want people to put it on their radar. We're going to be dealing with something with Active 911. We've had discussions, and Active 911 is not the same as 911. You call for emergency, but it's an app that is used by our VFDs to get toned out to different calls and what have you. And so there's been some disgruntled members with the VFD, the way it's been handled, but we're going to be having meetings, and I want everybody to rest assured it's going to be handled properly to where all the VFDs will still have access to that. So that's all I have to say on that right now.
Okay, just a couple of things countywide that I want to share with you. Let me clarify about the burn ban that was lifted in the floodway. Commissioner Harris and I spent considerable weeks together at the beginning of this flood recovery process, trying to come up with a burn plan to be able to burn the debris and move the debris in the valley, in the river valley, without setting the whole valley on fire. And we came up with a very, what we thought was a very effective system. And we called it there was the affected area and the unaffected area. And the unaffected area followed the burn bans just as normal, which were managed by the individual commissioners. The affected area was from the high water mark on the north side of the river and on the south side of the river. And anything inside that floodway was banned for burning at that point. As we have recovered and things have gotten better, there's been a tremendous demand to be able to clean up some of that river bottom for the landowners that have it, and it's just for the privately owned property. And that's what we did. I teased Commissioner Harris about this, but he's been after me for a long time to pay attention to those people need to be able to go down there and burn that vegetated debris. And so that's what we did. And we're ahead of the rain on that, and that's something that I think has made a huge difference to the landowners in that area. The other thing I want to do is my privilege and honor to introduce our new emergency management coordinator. Dub Thomas retired last month, you may recall, after years of service with the county and prior to that with the DPS. And we posted a position for the emergency management coordinator and took applications and interviewed. And I want to introduce Shory Harmon right here. Shory, stand up so they can see you. Look back to the camera so they can see your face. Okay, on the wall. Okay, very good. Shory he has been our county liaison officer with Tatum for several years now. 2 years. Yeah. Shory he's a legacy for the United States Navy, as I understand it, and he served time with the Navy before going and getting his undergraduate degree, I think, at Colorado State, wasn't it? And has relocated to Texas and is now an adopted Texan. He graduated, I believe, from the first Tatum Academy class, which is at the Texas A&M University in San Antonio. A lot of y'all don't know we have an academy that's run by the Texas A&M, and he's in that first graduating class. And so when the position became available, we eagerly sought him, and we were successful in securing. He's moved over from Tatum and is now part of our team. We expect this transition to be seamless. And so when you get a chance, stop in the hallway and say hello to Shory Harmon. And so with that, we will move on to the consideration agenda and get to the pretty kids in the back of the room that we need to get before the court here. And item 1.1 is the District 10 4-H Spring Roundup results with kids. Jennifer Smith. This is the fun part.
Good morning. My name is Jennifer Smith. I am the Kerr County 4-H agent. And we like to come a few times a year just to bring in the kids and tell you kind of what we're doing, what's going on. The last time we were here was in November after our fall roundup. And a lot has happened since then. We've been through the stock show season. A lot of success stories. A lot of kids made the sale. Which for most of y'all that don't know, that's a huge accomplishment to make a sale at any of the stock shows. They also were very successful at a lot of the competitions that the stock shows offer, and so we're very proud. That's a long time for those kids to be on the road, and they're in and out of school and having to make up work, and so that takes a big commitment, and so we're very proud of them. We had our first county photography contest. We had 13 kids enter 71 pictures, photos that, to be honest with you, if you looked at what some of these kids took, you would never believe it was a third grader or a 10th grader or whatever the case is. So we were very impressed. And so we have six photos that we submitted to the state for the senior aged kids for the state photography contest. So we'll know how they did May to June. So. But what we're here today is to introduce kids some of them that participated this past week at our District 10 Spring Roundup. For those that don't know, the 4-H District 10 consists of 21 counties and hundreds of kids participating, that come from all over. We all went to Fredericksburg, to the Gillespie County Extension Office and Fairgrounds. The weather was not the best. We had some kids out in the range evaluation that were buttoned up and muddy and everything else, but they came out successful, so we're very proud of them. Others were judging wool and mohair or livestock skillathon, plant ID. Some of them got up on stage and sang and played instruments, and so there's a wide variety of talents and skills that these kids they're learning and doing at a very young age. We had 20, from Kerr County, we had 28 kids compete. We had multiple state qualifiers. So we'll have, going to College Station the first week of June. We have some ladies that are going to represent us in the fashion category, talent and showcase, plant ID, range evaluation, livestock skill-a-thon, and wool and mohair. So we'll have, plus a whole bunch of others. That's just what we competed in this past week. So I'm going to get to the fun part and let the kids come in and introduce themselves and tell a little bit about how they did. So we'll bring in Addison.
Hi, I'm Addison Weiser. This was it last week? Last week I competed in range, plant ID, wool, and mohair. I got first place individual in range, range and plant ID, as well as first place team in plant ID, and then second place in range. I also competed in mohair, where I got fourth individual, and then we got first as a team, and then I competed in wool, where we got third as a team.
I know everybody wants to applaud, but we're going to wait till the end. We'll have a photo op.
Hi, my name is Bella. I competed in livestock skill-a-thon. I got second. Wool judging, I got eighth. Mohair, I got seventh. And consumer decision-making, plant ID, and range.
Hi, I'm Benjamin Hall. I competed in 5 different robotics competitions, and I got third place in our district horse judging contest.
Hello, I'm Katarina Craddock. I competed with the wool and mohair judging team, and we got first place team in mohair, and I got first place individual, and we got third place team in wool, and I got fifth place individual.
Howdy, I'm Francie Lockwood. I competed in consumer decision making at San Angelo. We got third place as a team. I got fifth individual. We competed in consumer at district this Friday, and we got fifth as a team. And then I individually competed in fashion interior design, and I did the budget buying category, and I got first place individual.
Howdy, my name is Jonathan Hall. Competed in several different contests. I can't tell you how many. But I got third place in district horse judging and qualified for state with several other kids from our county. Then best of category in photography, and 2 of my photos are going to state in the food category and leading line. I entered 3 photos, placed first on 2 and second on 1. And then robotics, we placed 4th place at State Fair, and then Fort Worth and Roundup, we got 5th place. San Antonio and Austin, we placed in the top, and San Angelo placed in the top 10. Then band solo, me and my sister qualified for state and got 2nd place. And then also qualified for educational presentation in the Ag and Natural Resources category, where we talked about the threats of AI data center and the ESS operations in Bitcoin mines. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Julie Lipka, and I competed at livestock judging, wool and mohair judging, and skill-a-thon at District 10. I placed 5th in mohair judging at District, and I won the senior division skill-a-thon at District in Fredericksburg.
Hello, my name is Kit Bainbridge, and I have competed with Kerrville 4-H with range and pasture plant ID, and I have done very well with my team. At District 10, I placed 5th in pasture and range plant ID, and in range I got 2nd place, and at Houston I did very well and I got 6th place, and our team won it.
Hey, I'm Leo Lockwood, and I placed first place in range and pasture ID at District. And then at Real County, I placed first in range and plant ID. Thank you.
My name is Lillian Bainbridge. I got overall high point individual at Houston for plant ID,
We then went to MJ Hana. I got a scholarship for $1,000 and got first place. Last weekend at district, I got High Point Individual for intermediate at Plant ID, and then our team won at Plant ID. I also got High Point Individual for intermediate at Range, and our team also won.
Hi, I'm Madeline Hall, and my team placed third in horse judging, and we qualified for state. We also qualified for state. My team did for the Family Consumer Health Quiz Bowl, and I also competed at State Fair Robotics, where my team got 4th place, and at Fort Worth my team got 5th place, and we got top 10 in San Angelo, San Antonio, and Austin. I also competed in photography, and I entered 7 categories, and I got best in category, and both of these are going to state in elements of design and plant and flora. And then I also competed in textiles. I got 2nd place in holiday and jewelry, and 1st place in kitchen textiles, home decor, quilts, and refashion, and I also got best of show in refashion. And then in fashion show, I got 1st place in the Promote Texas Fibers category, and I qualified for state. And I also competed in talent showcase with my brother and band solo, and we qualified for state, getting 2nd place. And I also competed in vocal and got 3rd place. I also qualified for state in educational presentation in ag and natural resources on our talk about BESS.
Hi, I'm Mabry Hall, and my team got 3rd place in district horse judging. I also got 4th place with robotics in San Antonio. I also competed at Austin, San Angelo, Fort Worth, and State Fair as well. And I got best in category with photography, and I got 1st in animal wildlife, 1st in catch all, 1st in leading line, 1st in plant and flora, 1st in details, 2nd in reflections, and 2nd in dominant color. I also participated in district textiles. I got 1st place and best in show in the home decor category. That was with embroidery wall hanging. And I placed 1st in district fashion. I did an ensemble for that. And for talent showcase, I got 4th place for playing piano. And I also competed in consumer decision making at district.
Okay, I say that's it, but man, that's a huge accomplishment. That's just a few of them. That's just a handful. So if y'all don't mind, we'd like to, like we always do, take a picture, and then we'll let y'all continue.
If I can get Jonathan Hall to come stand right in the middle, and then y'all build off, trail down on each side, because he'll be the tallest one out there.
Y'all just go stand
We'll
right
stand.
there.
Now, if you're taller than somebody, move to the outside. Move to the inside. If you're shorter, move to the outside. That way, it kind of tapers. Okay.
Just like
And the short ones can stand in front. Now the famous cheese.
Thank y'all.
All right,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Thank you all. Well done. Have a good day. Good job. Now you get to go to school.
Good job.
Good job, sir.
Okay. Next item on the agenda is item 1.2, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve a proclamation declaring May as Mental Health Awareness Month in Kerr County. Nicole Cox and Joan Cortez. And you don't have to move with those crutches if you don't want to.
Hi, I'm Nicole Cox, the clinic director of MHDD here in Kerrville.
And I'm Joan Cortez, the director of Crisis Continuity Care.
Okay?
Anything else?
So,
Is
should I
this-
just read
No,
Pardon?
our proclamation? Our request for proclamation declaring May as Mental Health Awareness Month for Kerr County.
I move for approval.
I'll second.
We got a motion and a second to approve May as the Mental Health Awareness Month here in Kerr County. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, thank you.
Thank you.
If you want a photo opportunity, you come down to the front.
You want a photo?
You got the proclamation?
Let's see. There we go. And Tom, I'm going to ask you as the county judge-elect to stand down front with the proclamation.
No.
Yeah, I second that.
So I don't have to hobble down there. Now, I have a cane in the office, but I'm trying not to show it. Thank you.
And Noel, if you can send me that and one with the kids, I appreciate it. Okay, thank you.
The next item on the agenda is 1.3, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve the Victim Compensation Benefits Assistant Agreement between Kerr County and Hill Country CASA. Ms. Cashier?
She's not able to be here, but it's our standard.
We do this every year.
so I move for approval.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the Victim Compensation Benefits Assistant Agreement that we approve every year with CASA. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, thank you. Item 1.4, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to ratify and confirm the official proclamation commemorating the Hunt Welcome Sign and the Spirit of Guadalupe. Ms. Freeman. And if you want to come forward, I'm going to ask Commissioner Jones to please stand so you can get your photograph holding the proclamation and the handshake.
And I failed to mention this in the opening comments that
We need to approve it.
Commissioner-elect Bubba Walters and I attended the ribbon cutting for the sign, and it was a well-attended. It was a big deal. Thank you.
Now, we're going to do the official business. Do I have a motion to approve the proclamation?
Yes.
And do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Now, photograph.
The sign looks great, too.
Good.
Thank you.
Yeah, that sounds beautiful.
Okay, the next item on the agenda is item 1.5, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to accept donations to the Kerr County Animal Control Facility totaling $100 for the month of March. Reagan Gibbons.
Good morning. So this first one is going to be our monetary donations for March.
I move for
$100.
approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve accepting the cash donation as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Moving on to item 1.6, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to accept the donation of office furniture and office supplies from the Fritz family to the Kerr County Animal Control Facility.
Yeah, so as I said, I think it might have been the last Commissioners Court, we were trying to get our list together, go through things. I wanted to run through this list with you guys real quick, so just bear with me. We ended up with 5 leather lobby chairs, 6 leather single lobby chairs with no arms. I'm getting specific here. 5 leather office chairs, 2 drawer file cabinets times 7, 1 3-drawer file cabinet, 3 4-shelf metal bookcases, 5 2-shelf metal bookcases, plexiglass office dividers, 4 of those for the animal control officers, worked out perfectly. APC battery backups, 10 of those, personal office heater, several wall clocks, e-meet webcams, 3 of those, 2 pairs of computer speakers, 3 computer speaker bars, a Fellows personal paper shredder, Sharp digital calculators, 3, 4 fabric cork boards, actually 8 of those, various different frames, wooden picture frames, a box of N95 face masks. We got miscellaneous desk supplies, pens, markers, staplers, staple pullers, hole punchers, file organizers. We ended up with some scanners, Brother printer scanners and printers. 10 desks of various sizes. Ended up with about 14 computer monitors and several monitor desk mounts. So this actually impacted some IT stuff I got with our IT department. They're the monitors that he was going to be getting us anyway, so this impacted some of that cost as well. Really got some things that we probably weren't even going to ask for, but now we've outfitted others with printers that generally didn't have them, myself included. And we just got a lot of really good stuff, newer than what we had. We're not having to piece together old furniture from that's being stored right now. The animal control officers, Des, everything got outfitted. We're really doing well. It's going to help with our move, which we will actually be slowly doing over this week and next. So, yeah, we're really grateful for that donation from the Fritz family.
I move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve accepting the office furniture and office supplies from the Fritz family as presented. Any discussion?
Yeah, so we got with Tracy on the values.
Haven't got the values yet. I'm gonna have to get probably back with the family to see exactly on some of that stuff. We might be able to research some of it, but I don't have values on it as of yet. Still kind of working on that,
Used items.
but we will be getting that.
Nonetheless, it's a tremendous gift from the
Oh,
Fritz
absolutely.
family. I mean, they've
Absolutely.
been so generous with the community and supportive.
Mhm.
Can't thank them enough.
It was a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
You've got a motion and a second?
Yep.
Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Thank you. Item 1.7, quarterly update regarding current and future grant opportunities for the Kerr County Sheriff's Office. Captain Gage.
Good morning. Just give a quick update on some of the current situation with some of the grants. Currently, our active grants that we have open is our fiscal year rifle resistant body armor grant. It's in the final closeout. Our final award was $79,740. So we were able to pretty much complete outfit in the sheriff's office on the rifle resistant stuff. So body armor. There's a few in the that we're still going to equip with the next funding cycle if we get that. Currently active grant, Operation Lone Star, fiscal year 26. Original award was $937,665. Currently to date for reimbursement, we've received $388,169. So we still have a few big ticket items. We had those vehicles purchased as well as some of the computer software for the forensic lab. So we'll end up being able to close that out as soon as we get those purchased. Those are the 2 active ones that we have. Recently ones that we closed, our mobile data computer project, which was through ACOG, $72,250. So with that project, we're just waiting for Peacemaker to get those laptops delivered. We're working with Tyler Technologies to get that spun up, to get those mobile computers in the vehicles. So hopefully within the next month or so, we should be up and going. We've been working with IT weekly on that project. We just closed out the ticket writer grant, $74,984. Those are all deployed. Those are currently in the field. Operation Stone Garden 2024. We closed that one out, $140,762. Mainly that was overtime for Operation Stone Garden as well as forensic software for the lab. And then we just closed out Operation Lone Star 24-25. Total closure was $704,345 on that project. Submitted and pending grants that we have, Operation Stone Garden, fiscal year 25. We're just kind of with the partial government shutdown on the FEMA, because that's funded through FEMA. So we're just waiting on the funding for that to get approved. Usually that starts right around this time, but we haven't seen any movement on that. Rifle-resistant body armor grant for 2027 has been submitted, and that's at $38,300. We submitted a border crisis grant for fiscal year 25. We submitted that back in January, but that funding, once again, goes through FEMA, so we haven't seen any kind of movement in that grant. The Swiftwater boat project was through ACOG. So on April 7th, we went down to the scoring committee. So we took top in the scoring committee through ACOG for that. Also, Constable Gonzalez for his vehicle that was submitted. I don't know where he placed, but he should be in the funding stream for that project as well. So we're definitely in the running. That was for $39,000. And then Operation Stone Garden 2027 is still pending, so as well. That's pretty much it for what we got active and that's pending. I don't think we really have any. I'm sorry. Oh. I don't think we really have anything that we're looking at. I just got kind of a thing for the COPS program. We're going to kind of look at it. Maybe something along the mental health side, if there's anything that's out there that'll fit the sheriff's office. So we'll look at a couple of those avenues.
So this was informational, and we don't need to
Yep.
take any action?
Nope.
Okay.
Any questions?
Thank you. Thank you. Next item is 1.8. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to ratify and confirm a letter to the Texas Department of Emergency Management requesting approval to submit a DI for damages to the gabion structures located at Fall Branch Bridge at Camp Scenic Loop Road due to the July 4th flood. Ms. Putnam.
Would you like to? She knows more.
Well,
I drafted the letter, and thank you for signing it, and we're asking for forgiveness, we already signed it, for damages that we found after the fact for a flood event, so.
we went out there, Charlie, Bobby, Robert Sims and I on July 4th. I took one picture, we were standing on the bridge, took it at 3:09, and a ton of water going through there. And, you know, we all kind of were like, okay, everything looks good here. And then Commissioner Harris got a call from the person that lives, she owns both sides of the creek there, and she had called us out for something different, and we walked up and we saw the gabions all twisted and mangled, and it was like, wow. So that's why this happened. Like I said, I have one picture. It's date stamped July 4th at 3:09. Hard to see in that picture. Now that I know what was up underneath, I can make out some baskets in the picture, but if you looked at it, you would not see the damage to the baskets. So we did get some help from Tatum over the weekend. They came and they removed the baskets. So when we go to do the repair, they'll be able to start in on the repair without having to remove everything, so.
That was a huge relief, getting
Yeah.
it removed, everything.
Yes. So.
Could you help us out? What's a gabion?
Gabion, they have gabion mattresses and they have baskets, and it kind of looks like a big chicken wire. And I don't know if any of you have driven on Cypress Creek by the loop, and there's a wall on the city side that stair steps up. Those are baskets, but mattresses look like the size of like maybe a twin mattress or a full-size mattress, long and rectangular. And then the baskets, you know, I think are more like what you see over on Cypress Creek. And they fill them with rock, and they help with erosion. They do allow some water to get through them. It's a very time-consuming process. Whoever did those over on Cypress Creek, unbelievable job. We did get a quote for replacing the gabions, and then we also, and I'm waiting on it to get another quote to possibly, in place of the gabions, maybe do concrete, just to kind of see where the prices go. I had talked to Judy Lucio from Tatum to ask her if we decided to go with concrete, I think it would probably be more competitive in a bid than the gabions. That if that would be an option, and she said, yes, I think that you probably could get approval on that. So.
Aren't we well beyond any filing dates for FEMA?
Well, that is what this letter is requesting that we add this project to our existing projects, and many of them haven't been completed. But because we are past the deadline, this is a letter to TDM that we want to be in the grant management system for when FEMA comes back to see if they will allow us to add a late project. And it gave justification as to why we had not submitted it initially. And it was undiscoverable compared to all the others until recently. So that's what this letter is that I'm asking to ratify and confirm, is get permission. Hopefully they'll take it on. If they don't, we'll go from there.
Make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to approve to ratify and confirm the letter to TDM requesting approval for these late DI damages as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, thank you.
Thank you.
Next is item 1.9. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to accept the evaluation criteria and scoring sheet for the request for qualifications for a part-time contract county fire marshal. Ms. Putnam.
Okay, on this one, as you know, we have an RFQ out for the part-time contract fire marshal position. And one of the things that we need to do in order to make that fair and equitable in the process is to have a rating sheet and a scoring committee and an evaluation criteria. So on that second page I gave you, you can see I drafted this from the RFQ itself and have what we would score on and the points assigned to it. And then on the rating sheet itself is just a breakdown under each of those scoring criteria that the evaluation committee can use to score the proposals we get for the RFQs.
I'll make a motion to approve the evaluation criteria and scoring sheet for the RFQ for a part-time contract county fire marshal.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the RFQ as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. And then item 1.10, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to appoint members to a selection review committee for the request for qualifications for a part-time county fire marshal. Ms. Putnam.
So what that is to actually have a scoring review committee. It needs to contain at least one elected official. It can be as many or as few people as you would like for that. I also would like to request, if possible, to have some alternates. Our request for proposals, it's been amended. They are due on May 7th. And then we would like to be able to review those and come to court with a recommendation at the next court day, which would be on May 11th. So that actually only gives the scoring review committee one day, that Friday the 8th, to be able to review them. So if we could have a review committee as well as alternates in case whoever you decide is not available, I'd appreciate it.
I make a motion to put a scoring committee together with you, Sylvia, and Don.
Did you say Harris?
Harris, Commissioner Harris, yeah.
Okay. Do you have,
An alternate?
does anyone have any preferences for alternates?
I'm happy to serve.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Yes, yes.
As an alternate?
And Commissioner Pace is an alternate.
Okay, so we have a motion for, who's our elected official? Don?
Harris, Commissioner Harris, and then our alternate would be Commissioner Pace's, which those are the most important ones, so.
Okay. Any other discussion?
You have a second?
I need a second? I need a second.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a
Once you do it,
second?
yeah.
Any other discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous, thank you.
All right, thank you.
And with that, we are surprisingly right on time. We will take a 10-minute break and come back at 10 o'clock.
Exactly on time.
Exactly on time.
Who is the
Before we come back to order, next item on the agenda is item 1.11, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action regarding an amending plat for Hill River Country Estates, Section 1, Block 2, Lots 1A and 1B. Bobby Gore.
Good morning, Judge, Commissioners. This may be one of the simplest plats I've ever seen.
Don't jinx it.
This proposed amending plat slightly adjusts a lot line between lots 1A and 1B. No new lots will be created. Lot 1AR will be 1.487 acres, and Lot 1BR will be 1.041 acres. Road frontage for both lots is on Annie Lane, will remain there. The County Engineer's Office requests that the court consider, discuss, and take appropriate action regarding an amending plat for Hill River Country Estates, Section 1, Block 2, Lots 1A and 1B, Volume 8, page 66, Precinct 2. I just mentioned that it's just a little sliver where they wanted to adjust the lot line to allow for more access with the trailer.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the amending plat for Hill River Country Estates, Section 1, Block 2, Lots 1A and 1B as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Item 1.12, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action regarding a revision of plat for Kerrville South 2, Lot 58. Bobby Gore.
This proposal revises and divides Lot 58, which was 5.85 acres total with 2 existing residences, divides it into 2 lots. Lot 58A will be 3.009 acres, and Lot 58B will be 2.839 acres. Frontage for both lots will remain on Lillian Drive. A public hearing was held for this on October 14th, and the groundwater certificate conforms to the requirements, and it will be attached to the plat. The County Engineer's Office requests the court consider, discuss, and take appropriate action regarding a revision of plat for Kerrville South 2, Lot 58, Volume 4, page 64, and Precinct 1.
Remind me why this doesn't trigger the model?
It does trigger it, and they have, that study that they did for 2 previous plats, kind of piggybacking on that, and so you'll see in your packet a letter from Wet Rock Engineering that they have looked at it, and it did meet. And also, this particular lot has had 2 residences and has had technically 2 owners that were family members for some time.
Okay. Motion to
I
approve.
guess both were connected to the public water supply.
Yes.
So there's no incremental impact. Yeah.
Correct.
Got a motion and a second? Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Item 1.13, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action for the Commissioners Court to authorize the judge to sign all FET exemption documents for the FY 25-26 budget, allowing Road and Bridge to complete the purchase of previously budgeted equipment. Ms. Hoffer.
FET stands for Federal Excise Taxes, which is a federal tax imposed on certain trucks, trailers, and tractors due to the weight of the unit. Local government is exempt from paying this tax according to the federal regulations included in this agenda item. We did get with the county attorney on this and had some discussion. We were asking the Commissioners Court to authorize the judge to sign the exemption documents for the fiscal year 25-26 budget in order for the Road and Bridge Department to complete the previous approved purchases list prior to the end of the fiscal year. Signing this document would not have any adverse budget effects, and thank you for your consideration. It actually saves the taxpayers a little over $21,000 for the 2 trailers.
I move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the FET exemption documents as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous?
Thank you.
Thank you. Item 1.14, consider, discuss, update on matters related to the Hill Country Energy Sub-Regional Planning Commission. Commissioner Paces.
Okay, well, just to inform the public that our next meeting of the board meeting for the Sub-Regional Planning Commission will be Tuesday, May 19th, 3 p.m. We're still not sure if it's gonna be here or in Gillespie County at the courthouse. We're working on that. And we have appointed a subcommittee to work on legislation related to battery energy storage for the next session, so I'm on that committee working with 2 other members. We're also working on reviewing and commenting on the state fire marshal's draft rules to update NFPA 1 and 100 to the 24 additions, along with Chapter 187 of the Utilities Code. And of course, the key there is that the update of those codes would also update NFPA 855 and the UL standards, which are really key to battery energy storage. Also, I presented our annual report to the Kendall County Commissioners Court during their meeting on Tuesday, the 14th of April. That went fairly well. And we just received notice that PUCT is proposing substantive rules applicable to battery energy storage, which are now open for public comment. So the Hill Country Energy Sub-Regional Planning Commission plans to formally comment and also to request a public hearing on those new rules. And I guess Commissioner Holtz already informed everybody that he and our IT Director, Corey Tennis, met with Vice Admiral retired T.J. White concerning cyber security concerns and the cyber command that he's leading. So we look forward to working further with him on those matters, particularly with respect to the 700 plus missing attestations from the developers, as well as the governor's list of prohibited equipment that now includes cattle batteries made in China. And the last thing I'll mention is I did receive a call last week from the PR firm representing Esvolta, the developer of the East-West BESS in Mountain Home along I-10. And they asked if I'd be willing to meet with them. And I said yes. And I haven't heard anything further, so we'll see. But can't hurt to meet. And that's really all I've got. I don't know if there's anything else.
Interesting, they called me too.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, I'm
That
open
is
to meet.
interesting.
What'd they call you?
I'm like, do you mean Paces? Holtz? No,
I'm sorry,
yeah,
I couldn't help it.
They have been contacting us,
Yeah.
and I believe in Sun Tzu. It's a good read.
Yeah.
If you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Well,
The art of war.
they've already met with 2 of the other commissioners, so I don't know. I guess they're
And
making the rounds, but I'm not sure what they're gonna tell us that might be different.
I don't think you mind me saying it, but they've reached out to Commissioner-elect Bubba Walters as well.
Oh, is that right?
Ah,
Well,
well, it's good to know their plans. Appreciate
Bubba, what'd they call you?
no, yeah,
That was an
I don't wanna have lunch or anything else from them, but I'm willing to meet with them.
So this was informational, is that right?
Yes, sir.
It is, but it's open to comments. This is our chance to
Any
talk
other
about these
discussion?
things. Okay.
Very good. Then we'll move on to item 1.15. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve an amendment to the bylaws for the Texas Hill Country Sub-Regional Planning Commission between Kendall, Gillespie, and Kerr counties. Mr. Paces.
Yeah, this is a relatively minor deal. We, of course, had to amend both the ILA and the bylaws. Right now, we're just talking about the bylaws for the Sub-Regional Planning Commission when we added Gillespie County to the commission. And there was a small oversight in terms of how we rotated the landowner representative position that each county gets to appoint. And the intent, at least, was that we would just do it in rotation. Kerr County was able to appoint the landowner representative the first year. Kendall County has done it for this current year. And this amendment will allow Gillespie County to do it in the subsequent year. And if this commission keeps going, it would just stay on a rotational basis. So that's what the amendment is intended to cover. It's pretty simple. It's been prepared by our county attorney. No outside legal services on this one, thank you. And I'll make a motion to approve the amendment as proposed.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the amendment as proposed to the bylaws. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Moving on to item 1.16. 17? Or did we do 16?
No, we're.
16?
We just did 14, so
Okay.
now we're on 15.
No, we did 15.
We did
We did
15.
16.
Oh, I'm sorry, yeah, you're right, yeah.
So this would be
15,
1.16,
Yes, sir.
consider
Counting
discuss
can be
take appropriate.
challenging.
Yeah. Who's on first?
Yeah.
Consider discuss take appropriate action to approve an amendment to the Hill Country Sub-Regional Planning Commission between Kendall, Gillespie, and Kerr counties to correctly state the Sub-Regional Planning Commission Board shall be comprised of 8 qualified individuals as described in the bylaws of the commission.
Yep.
Commissioner Paces.
Okay, and this is, again, it was noted that there was a minor error in the interlocal agreement, which we're now talking about. And it just needed to be corrected to reflect that there would be 8 qualified individuals as described in the bylaws. And so with that, I'll make a motion that this court approve the amendment to the Hill Country Energy Sub-Regional Planning Commission interlocal agreement.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the interlocal agreement as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Moving on to item 1.17, consider, discuss, or take appropriate action to authorize the county judge to execute a quitclaim deed, including 5 tracts of land being used for cemetery purposes, to the Nichols Memorial Cemetery Association. Commissioner Harris.
We've kicked this
Yeah, I thought we
around
did it.
several times, haven't we?
I thought we
And
did
the
it.
bottom line is, we don't want to be in the cemetery business, and we finally, through, what's that?
I said finally.
Finally, we finally, with a lot of help from our people at KCAD and what have you, we figured it out. I mean, some of this goes back to 1890s when this land was in the county's possession and what have you. So anyway,
Is it
this
donated,
just
donated property or something?
it was so convoluted, it's a mess. But this straightens everything out. We donate it to the Nichols Cemetery Board, and it's theirs. And then the only thing the county has is the road leading into the cemetery. It stops right there at their gate. So,
We tried to do this about 3 years ago.
yeah, I know. And several times we thought we had it fixed, but now this is the fix. And let's put a bow on it and get it done. So I move for approval.
Second?
Got a motion and a second to approve the corrective action as outlined for the Nichols Memorial Cemetery Association. Any discussion?
Yeah, is this the only one that we've got like this?
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, gosh.
Cemeteries, or,
Can't be.
I don't know of any other cemetery where the county may own property, so as far as I know, yes, but something could come up in the future.
Nope.
I think this is
Okay.
it.
It wasn't on anybody's cemetery that this was a problem till a
Right.
few years back. So anyway.
Okay. Any other discussion?
I mean, was the cemetery pressing for this, or we just wanted?
Yeah, just get
Get
it
rid of-
clean.
This was the cleanup action we took back when we had the special burial there for the Korean War veteran.
Well, it was.
Right after that?
Yeah.
It was on the heels of that. We were
Somewhere
trying to
right
clean
in
it up.
there.
Yeah.
It was after that, and there's court orders, that that it was the judge's or commissioner's responsibility to designate who was buried there, and at the last meeting, I think that was in 2023, where, the court quitclaim deeded part of the property that we owned, the court talked about not wanting to be in that business
Sure,
any longer.
sure. So let me just ask one more question. So on these tracts of land that the county owns, are there bodies buried?
Yes.
We don't want them then.
No, we want the association to have them.
Yes, sir, okay. Now it's clear, thank you.
Okay, any other discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous.
Thank you.
I've got a timed item at 10:30 that we're going to skip over till we get to that. Next item will be item 1.19, which is to consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve an interlocal agreement between Kerrville Independent School District and Kerr County for emergency transportation support and limited intake processing. This is something we do with them on a regular basis.
Every year.
Every year.
Yeah, I move for approval.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the interlocal agreement as presented with KISD.
This is actually a different contract than what we approve every year. This is something that came on the heels of the recovery and
Okay.
discovering what the county and community needs as far as emergency response. So this is a great,
So this is in addition to what we've been
change.
doing
Yes, sir.
Right.
for the emergency transportation?
Yes, sir.
Got it. Any other discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Moving on to item 1.20, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to ratify and confirm the Texas Department of Licensing and Regulation designated agent for the Alley Burton Annex Building located at 550 Earl Garrett.
Whose is this?
Well, I'm looking at the boss.
I'll move for approval.
Okay.
This goes back to the project that we had last year.
Right.
To upgrade it when we were looking at relocating adult probation into that building. And so we spent a fair bit of, well, not that much, but anyway, we spent some money and got the architectural plans and the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing plans finalized to enable that project to go ahead and to go out for bid. In fact, we did go out to bid and no one bid on it. So anyway, as a result, they have to file something with the state, and they track these things until they're actually completed. And so this is just,
But do we need it now?
well, you
They think
tell
we
me.
do.
This just kicks the can down the road where we don't have to do anything more, and it gets them off our back for, is this 1 year or 3 years? I can't remember.
But what's the,
I don't understand it.
what's the licensing and regulation designated agent form, what's it for?
It
At this
allows
point.
Mustard Architectural Firm to be our agent to handle all this stuff with the state. Because they're the ones that did all the plans for us.
In the case we need to do
In the
anything
case
in the
we need to do
future?
it at some point in time. And if we are convinced that we're never gonna do it, then, we just notify the state that we're never gonna do it.
These get on the agenda under my name because the state needs somebody to
Sure.
do it.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
well, that's what happens.
Yeah,
And it shows up on the agenda, and I'm asking Jody half the time, what is this?
yeah. I had a big question mark on it.
I've seen all the
But,
correspondence.
but
on
they,
it, so-
they want additional confirmation of their role in being able to oversee what we've designated.
But is this
for.
not specifically tied to the project that was on the books?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And so we can either argue with them or not. Basically what it comes down to.
Yeah, we're not looking at that project anytime in the next, so that's the reason I'm asking,
Well,
do we
fair
need to
enough, but
ratify it or?
if we do this, we kick it down the road and there's no impact on us, there's no added fee or anything for doing this. Mustard.
This is a ratify and
willing to do
confirm
this.
on the heels of what we did a couple of years ago,
Yeah,
Right.
and continuing the status quo in place,
right,
which satisfies the state. As long as they're out of my hair,
sure.
I'm good.
And this is just giving Mustard Architect the ability to speak
Right.
on our behalf.
And we did do that.
Yeah, so if you, again, next week, if you wanna now tell them, cancel the project, we can. This is just allows them to speak, cause the
Okay.
state won't speak to them without.
Yeah, I just, I get that. Okay.
Now I get it.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Who did the second?
Do we have a motion?
Do we have a
I don't know,
motion?
Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, I'll
Let's
second.
move it.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second? Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Okay, we're gonna go back and pick up item 1.18, which is a timed item at 10:30. That's an update regarding the
Not
Kirk.
10:30 yet.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We can keep rolling.
I saw him come in.
Well,
Okay, so we'll skip you again. Let's move on to item 1.21, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve and authorize the county judge to sign a proposed Texas statewide opioid settlement agreement.
I move for approval.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the statewide opioid settlement agreement as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Item 1.22, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to approve a bond for the county engineer, John Hewitt. John was here earlier.
Yes, sir, it was.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
He is our contract county engineer that we're bringing in. Part-time?
Yes, sir.
Part-time employee. Okay. We've got a motion
And a second.
and a second. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Item 1.23, consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to authorize the county judge to sign and submit the county's request for capital credits to the Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts. Ms. Shelton.
Yes, in conjunction with Local Government Code Section 381.004, Texas Property Code Section 74.602, authorize the Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts Comptroller's Office to allocate a portion of the unclaimed capital credits received from electric cooperatives back to the counties in the cooperative service area. Last year, we received about $20,000 from this. The average for the past 5 years has been about $35,000. We currently use the capital credits to fund a portion of the Kerr Economic Development Corp. Annual payment that we send to them. It is an authorized use of the funds. We are asking Commissioners Court to give the county judge the authority to sign and submit the request to the Texas Comptroller's Office.
I move for approval.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to approve, authorizing the judge to sign and submit the county's request for capital credits for the Texas Comptroller of Public Accounts as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Next item is 1.24. Consider, discuss, and take appropriate action to surplus IT department and Kerr County Court at Law items. Ms. Shelton.
Yes, you have the list in front of you of the requests from both of these departments to surplus these items.
I move for approval.
I'll second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the surplus items as presented.
Did he do it? Okay.
Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Let's briefly move on to the approval agenda, and we'll come back to the timed item. This will be item 2.1, budget amendments.
Yes, you have 7 budget amendments. 4 of these are cleanups, and 2 of these are from grants, and we have the revenues for the budget amendments being requested.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Got a motion to approve the budget, motion and a second to approve the budget amendments as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Item 2.2, pay bills.
Yes, invoices for today's consideration, $2,021,117.11.
I move for approval.
Second.
We've got a motion and a second to approve the bills as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Item 2.3, late bills.
Yes, the amount is $245,826.86.
I move for approval.
Second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the late bills as presented. Any discussion?
Yes. I always ask the late bills and the nature, just so the public knows.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch
Yeah,
that.
I always
What's the nature
ask
of
about
late
the
bill?
late bills and the nature of these.
The nature of them, they were bills that were turned in late to the auditor's office, too late to make the first round of invoices that were chosen for payment.
I see a lot of health bills, if I'm looking at the right thing. Okay, thank you.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. Auditor reports.
Yes, first, just a friendly reminder that the department budgets are due, y'all's requests are due from all the elected officials, department heads on May the 14th. It will be, Encode will be shut off at 5 o'clock that afternoon. And the second thing is, last week, y'all were sent a couple of internal audit reports one was for the treasurer's office and one was for the district clerk office. We're asking that you accept the reports.
Move for approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve the report, auditor reports as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. 2.5, accept monthly reports.
Yes, for March 2026, Environmental Health and Animal Services, Director Reagan Givens. Environmental Health, OSSF, Director Ashley Batters. Constable Kyle Snyder, Precinct 2. Justice of the Peace, Precinct 2. Justice Courts Activity Detail Report, Judge J.R. Horn. County Clerk's Office, County Clerk Nadine Alford. Investment Portfolio Summary, January 1st, 2026 through March 31st, 2026. County Treasurer Tracy Sullivan. I'll move for approval.
Second. Got a motion and a second to approve the monthly reports as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. 2.6, court orders. I've reviewed the court orders from the April the 13th meeting, beginning with order number 41854 and the 30 consecutive orders after that through 41884. I've reviewed them and they all appear to be in order, and I move that they be approved.
A second.
Got a motion and a second to approve the court orders as presented. Any discussion? Those in favor, raise your hand. Unanimous. One more. 3.1, status reports from department heads. Any? IT.
Good morning, Court. This is my quarterly report for the first quarter for calendar year 26. We'll start with our state mandated cyber training. As a reminder, there are the two separate state mandated trainings, the regular cybersecurity training, and then also now for this calendar year, the artificial intelligence. We're sitting at 88% for the county, so overall fairly well, but there's still roughly 40 individuals that need to complete each of the two sessions there. Next. And that's kind of a breakout of how we look by department throughout the county of which ones have completed their training. Next. Fishing, active fishing training resumed back in November. This training has kept us as a county at 4% vulnerable when our industry average for county governments is typically at the 27 to 28%. So we're actually doing really well. However, I say that grain of salt because it only takes one person to open us up. So overall, we're doing very good, very happy with those numbers, but you can see we still got people clicking on the messages, but that's what these trainings are for. Next. Help desk tickets, you'll see they have kind of flattened out. We've stood up our help desk back in November, cleaned up some items back in January. So those numbers, actually I do expect those to climb just a little bit as we are now self-reporting and accurately categorizing the tickets. And when I say self-reporting, that means that we get a phone call or we're walking through the courthouse or wherever and they're like, hey, can you help me real quick? We're now counting those as tickets as well to really kind of count our time. Next. And that's an initial look at a breakdown of where we are spending our time, whether it's software, admin, or computers. This quarter, we have replaced already over 40 desktops and laptops. Our goal for the year is to get to 50 for the year. So we're replacing computers much faster than we would hope to be. Part of that is because of their old Windows 10 LTSB model computers that were deployed 5, 6, 7 years ago. We're finally down to about 15 or 20 of those devices left. Once we get those, we'll move over into our LTSC, which is the next version of Windows 10. They all need to be replaced due to no longer being supported. So once we get to an accurate number, we can actually start timelining these replacements. We're 1, maybe 2 a week. We still anticipate roughly 5 to 10%, emergency replacements, but that's just kind of the nature of the beast there. Next slide. That's it. Okay. Some other projects that we've completed is actually a really impactful one for our department was the telecommunications install over at the animal control facility. We spent roughly 120 man hours just to get the LAN network operational. Yeah, animal control is going to start moving in on Wednesday, so we're going to help them guys move their computers and phones in. We still have yet to install a PA system or camera systems, but we're working on the design requirements for that this week as well. Yep, talked about all of those. A couple other things that we've accomplished. We went into San Antonio to the Alamo RSOC. This is a partnership that we use for some of our monitoring tools and some of our cyber defense. A lot of that stuff that we get from them is free of charge. A couple of conferences with the provided by TEACS, Texas A&M, TAC, CMRC, and the TAG ITM conference. A lot of those conferences were talking about AI, and I'm going to kind of expand on that here a little bit further. Talking about cyber defense, cyber tools. Let's see. We're just finishing up a partnership with UT Austin, their cyber clinic team, to help with our policy review. They helped us rewrite 8 different policies that affect my department and actually for the county. Once I get those kind of all gathered in one place, I'm going to send those over to the county attorney and HR for review. This included the county handbook, acceptable use, encryption, MFA, those policies that will be, once reviewed, will be for you guys for a final approval. We kicked off MFA, multi-factor authentication, back in February. This is a slow, deliberate rollout. I think we've got 90% of the courthouse already completed. We were really impacted with the animal control building that basically set us behind a month, but we've got a plan in place now for deployment throughout the county, and like I said, we're doing it very deliberate, very slow to make sure that we're getting it right on the first time. We're trying to make that as non-impactful as possible, even though that is really kind of unavoidable. Mobile CAD's coming up here late summer, early fall, working with the Sheriff's Department on the actual deployment dates for that. We're also working on an AV upgrade system for the county court of law, as well as the 2 district courtrooms for their sound systems and video. Our goal is to have one identical system for each of the courtrooms, so as people move around, it's plug and play. You go into one courtroom, it's going to be identical to the next one. And we're making some good progress on that. And then, as always, we're looking at how we can sunset and replace some of our servers, and that'll be a huge undertaking for the next fiscal year. So I'm getting numbers from a vendor on what that number is actually going to look like here, hopefully by the end of the day, so I can get it ready for presentation for the budget cycle. AI, like I said, all these conferences, or a lot of these conferences I've been going to, have really been focusing on artificial intelligence. About a year ago, almost to the day, I was at one put on by National Association of Counties, and there they were talking about, cool new tools, Gemini, ChatGPT, Copilot, Pictory, and Suno, and how each one of those has their own little niche on what they can do, whether it's video generation, music generation, is it just text documents, reviews, that kind of stuff. And those tools have come a long ways just in the last year. And in the following months, the conversations were surrounding about what agentic AI is and what that is going to look like. And for those that don't know, agentic AI is true machine learning. It is now computers, artificial intelligence, learning by themselves, doing tasks by themselves, with very, very little human integration. Very concerning, right? So that was a conversation through last summer into the fall. Well, these last few months, these AI conversations now are almost holistically around agentic AI. And how do we leverage that capability? How do we put guardrails on it and hopefully try to contain it? My team is going to have a internal strategy briefing meeting on Wednesday morning on how Kerr County can not just leverage these tools, but also protect us from it. It is, as mentioned, we met with Texas Cyber Command last week, and it's here, and there's no getting around it. You can't put it back in the box. There is really no box for it. So, how we proceed, how we it's a nervous time. I'll just say it that way. So, any questions or discussions around AI? We're always free to talk about it. You know, we've started having some informal discussions and opportunities for the county, whether it was a training day or just training events at the Sheriff's Department. We're going to try and do more of that as we have time to put the presentations and the discussions together. But I'll just leave it there. So if you guys got any further questions on AI, my quarterly report, or anything like that, I'll be more than happy to answer any questions at this time.
So we're very afraid.
Yeah.
We're behind. And there isn't a clear path forward, and that's really kind of the scary part behind it.
Yeah.
So there'll be many discussions internally and externally as far as what's available, how do we use it, where can we leverage it, but more importantly, how do we protect ourselves from it?
Yeah. You know, Hollywood gets a lot of things wrong, probably most things wrong, but they're pretty good at prognosticating stuff. So I'm hoping that we don't see a Terminator series here.
Skynet's been
That's what
released.
it's all about, isn't it?
Pretty much.
Okay, thank you. Okay, 10:30 timed event. Item 1.18, updates regarding the Kerr County Long-Term Recovery Group and River Cleanup Drive Dive Team Project. William Whitson.
Here we go.
Thank you, Judge and members of the commission. I hope my report isn't as scary as AI, but I'm not sure. You've been through a major disaster, and we're, 9 months in? And our responsibility with long-term recovery is to develop a comprehensive recovery plan that touches on many, many facets of the disaster. We have working groups that have been formed that have the best of Kerr County and East Kendall County on them. They're amazing individuals. They have a lot of expertise, but our recovery plan is citizen-driven, and we're very proud to report to you on some of the things we're doing. There's a million moving parts right now, so what I'm going to give you is a brief snapshot. The pillars of our plan, our recovery plan, are housing replacement, emotional and spiritual care, business assistance, healing of the river, and public infrastructure. Next slide. We count at this point, which is kind of a snapshot in time, a little over 200 projects that we have been tracking. Those are things that have been done and things that are in the pipeline to be done. And if you were kind of looking for some breakdowns of categories, looking around 47 infrastructure projects, 11 business projects, 24 on the river, and I might say Jonathan Letts is wearing us out. He's really keeping us busy with what's going on with the river projects, because the healing of the river is one of the key principles that will help power this recovery. We've had all kinds of issues with emergency response, making sure that the volunteer fire departments got some of the equipment replaced that they needed, some of the other things that are going on there. And I might want to say on the flood warning system, Tara Bushnell is doing a marvelous job, and we're supporting her directly through the procurement process, the design process, the engineering process. I mean, Myself and my partner and our staff are really working hard on that one, and I'm very pleased at the progress that we've had there. We have projects with tourism and arts and culture, one of which is called the My Guadalupe Valley campaign, which is going to begin setting the stage publicly for inviting people back to this area and making sure we keep our tourism numbers up, our camp numbers up. Obviously, housing is developing all over the place. A lot of projects in Hunt, a lot of projects in other locations, warehouse distribution, emotional and spiritual, and then, of course, things related to our operation at, we call it Club 98 Coronado there. Next slide. Real high-level snapshot. These numbers are always moving around. Sorry, Jody. It's a snapshot in time. If you take a look at all of those different projects that are in progress there, you have funds raised towards projects. In other words, we've identified a project and we know that is taken care of, but then you have some that we've identified that maybe you have partial funding for. So it's kind of a mixed bag all around. But if you look at all in, what we know at this point in time is that the recovery price tag is around a little more than $288 million. And that some of this is grants, and it requires match. Some of the match is in, some of the match is yet to be in, but this is just kind of like a high-level overview of what's going on with the entire recovery. Next slide. One of the things that we've started recently that's very important is to get a handle on the debris that is in the river. This is something that we want to make sure that not only the public here is kept safe, but our visitors when they come. And so we initiated a pilot program that targets the high contact areas along the river, swimming holes, places that people kayak, those kinds of things, because we want to make sure that there's no hazards there and that we keep people safe. We have engaged 2 volunteer dive teams, one of which is San Antonio Search and Support. I want to say search and rescue, but it's search and support. And then the Rampart Vigilance, which is kind of a veteran group, military veteran group. And we have received funding from a couple of sources. Shout out to HEB. Go shopping at HEB. I know I do. One thing when I leave Texas I'm going to miss a lot, and that's HEB. They have been all over this recovery. They have been giants in terms of their support. But they have allowed us to have funding to get this thing going. We've started it, and it's basically moving forward mainly on the weekends, but there will be dives during the week. We have a map. We have negotiated contracts with both groups, and we have maps associated with each groups in terms of what their assigned areas are. The Rampart Vigilance group is mainly in the county, but then there's some spots just outside the county, the city, that San Antonio Search and Support will be involved in. I will be collecting data from that group, both groups actually, and reports, and we'll have later on a snapshot of how much they've collected. The city is cooperating with us because they have the solid waste collection support services, so we can kind of tell you how many pounds and those kinds of things. We don't really know yet. We haven't really started formally tracking that. But we know that we're going to be able to remove these hazards and make sure that the river is safe as it can be for our local citizens and visitors. And we also know that right now we kicked off this effort with around $150,000 in donated support, but we're going to need more. And it's, I don't know how quickly it's going to move per site, because apparently in talking to the divers, it's pretty dark and murky down there, and it's hard to tell how long it's going to take you to do a search in a particular area, but there is a pattern that has been signed off on by the lead diver, who's a 30-year veteran of the Houston Police Department. So these are really good folks, and they know what they're doing, and everybody's going to follow the pattern, so we know that it's thorough. And how long will it take? Don't know. I just know that right now, talking to the dive teams, we're grateful that we have this start. We know that we're going to get going. It's going to make good progress, but it will probably take some more resources down the road to complete this job. Next slide. One of the key things from my point of view as your long-term recovery specialist, I've sailed these waters before. The 1-year anniversary of any disaster event, doesn't matter what disaster event it is a huge deal. Especially yours with the loss of life and the things that this community has had to deal with. So what we're going to be doing is several things. First of all, we're going to try to have a place on our website. It'll be coming up in the next week or so, where if people are planning events, they can go on a master calendar, because you want to be sensitive to not only the anniversary being on the 4th of July with the 250th anniversary of the founding of the nation. That's great, but then you also have to acknowledge and respect and honor those who were lost in this event. So we want to do that balancing act. We've been, I think Commissioner Jones has served on a committee. I know the mayor has been focused on this. This is a big deal. Striking the right tone, because the whole world's going to be watching how you handled the balance between the two. And I think the best way to start is this comprehensive coordination of public events, so that people can see, you know, this is a rock concert versus this is a candlelight vigil, or whatever the plans may be and what that date is. So we're going to be doing that. We're going to be continuing the collaboration. Our working groups are up and running and working and moving forward. I'm very pleased with the pace of the recovery. It's very demanding. It's very high-paced, but I think we're beginning to make some real headway. How do I know that? Look at all the positive things that are beginning to happen. So that's it. If you have any questions, I'd be glad to answer them. And again, I think we're making good progress.
It sounds like it. Looks good.
William, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
In terms of debris in the river, has anybody tried to gauge or possibly map the amount of gravel fill that's behind our dams, like at Flat Rock or down at Lions Park? I keep hearing anecdotally from people that, man, there's all kind of gravel and fill behind the Lions Dam in particular. Has anybody tried to gauge how much of that and where it is? And I won't even ask if there's a plan to do anything about it, but...
Well, yes, on both fronts. We have heard the same kind of concerns. We know that this is a natural river and its channel shifts over time. It's history. That's what it does. It's a river. However, this event was so catastrophic and swept so much material around that I think we need to take a look at that. It is on our legislative initiative program list. That's as far as we've gotten. Yep. But I think that does bear some discussion, and the county's involvement in that conversation would be very helpful and important. Commissioner Jones is serving with that group on what is it that needs to be done to heal the river. Is that on the list? Is it not on the list? And if so, how would we go about it? What would we do? I know from my interaction in past disasters, anytime you talk Army Corps of Engineers and all other state agencies and the dredging or not dredging, I mean, those kinds of issues, they're very, very expensive. Yeah. So that's something that would be a too big of a lift, I think, for this county, given the fiscal economic impact that has happened. So we want to put it on the list, and we do have eyes on, okay, what does that look like and what does that mean?
I asked William if he would come in and present today, because I know the public
Yes.
very concerned. They seem to think we're not doing some things we should be doing. And I think a lot of it's a misunderstanding that this is still a state operation with all of this. And so all the work that William and Kim and Todd are doing behind the scenes is preparing and trying to get extra money in to try to do what we can and to work with them. The meeting we had, I don't remember, last week, maybe Friday with Tatum,
Yes.
was about us working cooperatively with them on this dive initiative, because it's still their project. And so for us to have people in there doing this diving, we have to make sure we have to make sure we're even cleared with how we're working with them on this.
Yeah, thank you, Commissioner. That's a great point. We did have a meeting on Friday where the dive teams were there with Tatum. In fact, I've been talking to them throughout the weekend. And the governors and Mr. Kidd, the emergency management director, said we should run this long-term recovery in parallel. Usually you end search and rescue when you found all of the victims. Unfortunately, there are 2 still missing, and the governor's word is we're not going to stop until we find them. Great. I think that's marvelous. However, we cannot wait months and months and months for long-term recovery, so we were given the green light to proceed. So we're going to proceed in parallel, and that's a great example of how we're doing it, is that Tatum and our teams are coordinating. They know their assignments. We know our assignments. We are not here to get involved in their search and rescue operations, but at the same time, we're going to address and mitigate any kind of concerns for public safety and make things better. So that's how we're tackling it.
William, I can tell a couple questions might come up from landowners that have riverfront property. Say, how do I get on the list to get my swimming hole checked out?
They need to give us a call, 830, I think it's, I forgot, I had the number memorized, but it's on the website.
I don't.
And you can call or email us at Kerr Together. There's also private landowners who are hiring these dive teams. So that effort is going on the side as well. So our interest is public areas, making sure that we target those. And I apologize for not having that number off the top of my head, but I'll give you my cell number if you want. And I know that basically we just want to make sure we identify these needs and address them. There's over 20 areas on the list between the 2 contracts. So I think we've got everything covered, but if there's a hole or a gap, or if somebody has a question, we'll probably get those posted on the website and people could take a look at it.
Right. Thank you.
Any other discussion?
No, I was just gonna say, I commend the heck out of y'all for everything y'all are doing.
Oh, yeah.
It's an incredible operation.
Yeah, well thought out.
Any previews as what to expect for tomorrow? I know the public's curious.
Well, I have a similar conversation with the city scheduled tomorrow, so no surprises.
Very good. Okay, thank you.
No, thank you, appreciate it.
Okay, that brings us to 3.2 on information agenda, which is status reports from elected officials. No heads. 3.3, status reports from liaison commissioners. Anything else in addition?
I have just a couple quick ones. Part of the HR requirement is occasionally do counseling. I did that counseling as we discussed. Just wanted to back brief you all on that. For our veterans out there, our director of our hospital has deployed. I don't know if I've mentioned that yet, Dr. Vic. He's also the administrator of the Kerrville VA Hospital. Just when you think you're about to retire from the Navy as a doctor, they can still call you back into action, even if you're the director of a major VA hospital. They deployed him as a reservist doctor. I love the guy. He said, no problem. I'll withdraw my Appendix J for retirement. I'll do this one last appointment. Kind of shows the caliber of the guy that he is, and we got a good backfill. So I don't know if I would have handled it with so much grace as he did, but he did. Wow. OSSF had a meeting with them.
Yeah, I was going to mention that.
Good meeting. There was, of course, they're looking in the future for permitting. That's on them to bring that up to the court. We'll see that later. And there was an issue kind of between our two precincts, between 2 and 3 on Elm Pass 2, which we addressed that, and they're going to continue to look into maybe some violations there. I don't want to go into a lot of detail, but we're aware of it. And then IT did mention they gave the History Commission or History Department a phone and an email, and it made them really happy. As if he wasn't doing enough with other stuff to turn on a phone and an email account for them. Thank you, Corey. I know you're doing a lot with animal control, but you made those people happy. So thank you. That's it.
Yes, the Ag Barn, Event Center, whatever you want to call it. We've got improved lighting in the back of the show barn, which is night and day difference. You walk in there, you immediately see the difference from what it was. Everything was just kind of dull before. And in fact, we even took Commissioner Jones out there and enlightened him on the situation.
Oh, that's bad.
Nice fun.
Yeah, he likes it. But anyway, it looks really good. We'd had complaints from some of the people that have used the barn, the different stock shows. The judges had complained on the lighting as far as evaluating livestock, as well as one of our big groups that uses it, the Kennel Club, that does their stuff out there. They had complained a little bit, and it's vastly improved. I encourage y'all to take a look at
Are
it.
you talking about the show barn or the
Yes.
ag barn?
Show barn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because we've got a
Totally
significant
different.
lighting issue in the dirt ag barn as well.
Well, yes,
Among others.
Among
yeah,
others.
yeah.
Got a new roof. What's the big deal? We can go plan it out.
Okay,
Well, we
Anything
can
else?
fix in there now. We got sirens stacked in there now.
okay. Do we have anything for executive session?
No, sir.
Okay, then that being the case, we are adjourned.
An early one today. Good.